So yesterday, the Ravens won the 20th straight game in a preseason, beating the Washington football team a lot to very little. But it did not come without a crushing loss to the Ravens. J.K. Dobbins got hurt on this play right here. Yep. So me and B are going to discuss what that means for the Ravens moving forward, what moves they could possibly make to replace him, if they wanted to replace him at all. But first, if you're new here, hit that like and subscribe button. Also, make sure you're following us on social media at LBHT Show, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all that good stuff. Also, check out our website, lbhtshow.com. All right. So, B, what are your thoughts on the injury?
Obviously it's very unfortunate for JK. A lot of people were expecting him to have a breakout season, really. He came in last year and, they kind of split the carries like Baltimore does with Gus Edwards, and obviously Lamar had a lot of carries as well. But JK came in over 800 yards. I believe he was right around 6 yards a carry. And he looked every bit the player that he was at Ohio State, right? And the reason that they drafted him in the second round. So, a lot of big expectations. So that's unfortunately going to be put on hold. We hope he has a speedy recovery and he's back to 100% for next season.
Yeah.
In terms of the Ravens this year, I don't think it's going to be a huge blow. They've got Gus Edwards there, who's he's a capable back. I expect him to kind of step into that starter role and kind of produce, the way he has the last couple of years. He's been over 5 yards a carry and right around 700 yards a season. And I would expect him to keep up that same kind of pace. They have Tyson Williams, the second-year back, who has looked really good in preseason. Looked good running the ball, looked good pass blocking. He's actually gone out and looked pretty decent in the passing game as well, catching the ball. So I think that he'll be able to slide in there and play pretty well for them as well. So, the question then becomes, what are they going to do at the third running back spot? Obviously they have options on the roster in Justice Hill and Nate McCrary. And also some free agent options. Todd Gurley, they bring in Todd Gurley earlier this offseason. Le'Veon Bell's out there, as well as some other names. And I'm sure there's going to be some running backs available after cut down day.
Yeah. So the name that you mentioned, Todd Gurley, that's the big name that's floating out there right now, because Todd Gurley, like you said, came in for a visit earlier in the offseason. And of course, he's got ties to Baltimore, so there's speculation on that. What should I say? What are the odds that you think Todd Gurley gets signed by the Ravens?
I think the odds are pretty good. If I were Baltimore, I don't think I'd make a move at running back. I think they're fine with the guys they have on the roster. But what I expect to happen is I think they'll go out there and they'll play week one with the guys they have, and they'll sign Todd Gurley after that first game, so they don't have to guarantee his contract for the full season.
Right.
And just, bring him in and see what he's got left. His numbers in Atlanta didn't look great, and we know he's had knee problems, but last year, he was pretty good after contact, right? And in Atlanta, they didn't open up the same kind of holes that he was used to with the Rams. But I think there is still some ability there. If they wanted to bring him in, I think he could help out. Just personally, I wouldn't do that. I think I would just stick with the guys on the team.
I think I agree with you. I think we have good enough running backs in Tyson Williams, and Nate McCrary. He's been doing pretty well in preseason himself. I don't think we need to go outside and bring anybody in, but I do understand this move a little bit, because when you're trying to win, you want to go with proven guys. Tyson Williams hasn't been able to prove it. I think he would if we put him out there, but I understand the want to get somebody that can go out there and contribute to a certain degree with Todd Gurley. And I do believe Todd Gurley, if we were to sign him, would just be that lead back in this offense. He would have a much better year than he did even last year. Because yes, he's not the same Todd Gurley of old, but he showed you last year that he can produce to a certain level. I
Mhm.
think any running back that comes on this team gets a boost from Lamar being out there. So
Absolutely.
so I think he will look more like the old Todd Gurley. He's not the old Todd Gurley, but he will look more like the old Todd Gurley in this offense. I think he could do a little bit more than Gus Edwards can.
Yeah, I mean, I would agree with that. I mean, he does have a better skill set than Gus. Like he's a more talented player. It's just down
Yeah,
to injuries there.
yeah,
But like I said, I would prefer that they give Tyson Williams and even Justice Hill the opportunity to
I
go
agree.
out there and show what they can do. I mean, they drafted Justice in the 4th round a couple years ago. Hasn't really gotten on the field a ton. He only had, I believe, 12 carries last year. But I'd like to see what those guys can go out there and do, and I know that they're very confident in Gus Edwards' ability. So
Absolutely. Yeah.
so I wouldn't, if I were them, I wouldn't jump to bring somebody else in. If you're confident in Gus, let him go out there and kind of play that lead role and just see what you have in those younger guys. I don't really think that Todd Gurley or Le'Veon Bell are going to get snatched up. So if they go out there and they play that first week and Tyson and Justice don't look like they have it, then you can go and make a move. But I would like to see them stick with the guys they have for this season.
I agree. Gus Edwards has been durable.
Mhm.
He's played very well. The chances that he's gotten go in there and play, he gets a lot of carries already, and I mean they're comfortable with him. So he doesn't need to have the line share of the carries. Well, he already doesn't. No running back in this system gets the line share of the carries. It's usually Lamar.
Mhm.
So that's another reason why I don't think we need to go outside of what we have on a team to go to bring somebody in, because they're probably going to lean on Lamar anyway. I wanted them to lessen his carries this year, but they probably weren't going to, if we're being
Right.
honest.
Yeah.
And if you are going to do that, I don't even think that they were going to necessarily give the ball to the running backs more. I think they're going to pass more.
Yeah.
So it should be a combination of, all right, you let Gus handle it, let Tyson Williams take on some of those carries. Lamar's going to get his carries as well, but there should be some more passing involved in this offense. And maybe that's one of the silver linings of what's going on here, is that it forces them to be a little bit more pass oriented, just a little bit more.
And the other thing about it is you're not going to get a special talent at running back.
No,
We both think that JK has the ability to be that.
yeah,
Gus Edwards is not a special talent. I don't think Tyson Williams or Justice or McCrary are special. At this point, you wouldn't put that label on Le'Veon or Todd Gurley either, right?
no,
And just that kind of a player is not going to get cut. So what's really going to determine the success of your run game is your O line, and you're not going to improve the O line by going out and signing a new veteran running back and bringing him in.
yeah,
Either those guys up front will be able to move the defense out of the way, or they won't.
yeah.
And if they're able to, then cool. The guys you have right now are just fine. If they're not able to, signing Todd Gurley's not going to change that.
No, it's not. So here we are. I mean, we got 2 weeks away from the start of a season. This is a setback. It is, because I honestly thought that J.K. Dobbins is one of those players that they're going to rely on a little bit more this year. He's, like we said, we think he can be a playmaker for them in the run game and a little bit in the pass game. A little bit more than, well, I think a lot more than Gus Edwards can be. And Gus Edwards is no shot at Gus Edwards. He's been holding it down, and I think he'll be fine in his role. But I think Dobbins is somebody that could contribute in a bigger way
Mhm.
than Edwards. So I think it does hurt, but no, it's not going to. It's not going to cripple them.
Yeah, for me, I didn't really expect them to change up the way they do things. I wasn't expecting them to give J.K. Dobbins a ton more carries like a lot of people were. I thought they were going to come back and
Do the same
basically
thing.
split the carries the same way they've always done. I think if you're going to see a change in the Ravens' offense, particularly in the playoffs, which is where they need it, it's going to come from that wide receiver core with Rashad Bateman and Sammy Watkins and Tylan Wallace and Hollywood, those guys are going to have to step up to really make a difference in the offense. I mean, Lamar's actually, he's looked much better throwing the ball, even than he looked in his first 3 seasons. He was already one of the top quarterbacks in the league. So, I mean, he looks like he's, just in the preseason games that we've seen in some of the practices, he looks like he's stepping up his game. So he needs the receivers to come along with that, and including Mark Andrews, obviously. And that's what's going to make the difference for the Ravens. I don't think it was going to be, J.K. Dobbins being there or not. But obviously you would prefer to have him.
All right. So that's our wrap up of Dobbins' injury. Let us know how you feel about it. Leave a comment. And like we said at the beginning, if you're new here, hit that subscribe button. We are on our way to 1,000 subscribers. Help us get there. Hopefully before the start of the season. We got 2 weeks. Let's see what we can do. LBHT crew, help us out. Spread the word. Let your friends know. Let your family know. Hit that subscribe button. And also, right above me, patreon.com/LBHT show. B, tell them what they can get.
For the $3 tier, you're going to get access to our overtime show, our weekly overtime show that we do after our weekly live show. We come in there, we talk about anything and everything, sports, pop culture, whatever you want to talk about. And it's a lot of fun. You're also going to get entrance into the Survivor League or Survivor Pool. If you don't know what that is, you make a pick every week. If your team wins, you advance. If they lose, you are out. The last person standing is going to get a nice LBHT trophy. For the $10 tier, you're going to get an on-screen invite into the overtime show. We'll, bring you on screen and you can talk with us. You're also going to get, for, still a limited time, one of our founders coins. There's only a couple left. Once they're gone, they are gone. And you'll be able to request content. If there's a topic that you want to see a video or even an article about, you can hit us up on Patreon and we will get that out to you.
All right. Thank you for listening, and make sure you check us out every Wednesday night at 7 p.m. for the live show. We'll see you guys later. Peace out.